What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. So, so I got like a few blogs to do. So I'm gonna title these as I go in detail and break this stuff down. This one particular right here is called "Am I a Rapist?" Because people saying I'm a pedophile, I'm a rapist, I'm a weirdo. I'm hearing this all over the internet from people blogging. You know, I'm the energy. Everybody getting fed off this. You know what I'm saying? No big deal, though. Let's address these situations and let's get deep off into this. This is gonna be too real for TV, and a lot of people ain't gonna really understand this. Some of y'all don't want to get it, don't understand. But I'm talking about to the mature people who can understand and maybe can relate to some degree. I'm gonna let you decide what you believe as we take a trip down memory lane. Since they want to go 25, 20, 30 years into my past to dig up something, that just go to show you, if you got to go that far to try to find something on me, that go to show you you ain't got nothing, and you ain't got nothing now. But let's go back. Let's take a trip down memory lane, 25, 20, 30 years, 25 years, 30 years, however. Somewhere between that time frame. Let's go and take a trip down memory lane, okay? They want to address my baby mamas, Erica, and they want to address my baby mama, Marlena, okay? Marlena, what, 42? How old is Marlena? 42? Yeah, Marlena 42 right now. Marlena 42 right now. And Erica is what, 41, 42, 41, 42? Somewhere between there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But let's take a trip down memory lane and talk about how things was. Am I a rapist? Because they want to call me a rapist because two of my baby mothers were teenagers at the time I was in my 20s. Okay. Thing about it is, life in different places and cities and areas is different in certain places. Every place is not the same around the world. The things that take place in Chicago, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Cali, Houston, Texas, things like that, especially in the ghettos, is different than places in the suburbans and things like that. Like for instance, this how life was for us. The younger girls coming up didn't want to be involved with younger guys at all, especially when they come from a life of poverty and things like that. They wanted to come up, they wanted somebody to help them financially, and they wanted to compete with the things that was going on in the world. They wanted to compete with the things that were going on in the world. With that being said, in the process of wanting to compete with other girls, getting their hair done, wearing the best clothes and designers, for the most part, girls' main objective was to go after the ballers, the drug dealers, you know, or the people that was into sports that may have was projected to become something big, or you know how I go. In high school, the seniors would all go after the freshmen. That was the talk, like, you know, um, and the high school girls would want the college guys. And at this time, this is when crack was getting, you know, was exploding big, and pimping was big, from Pimpin' Ken and Pimp Snooki and all these things. So this was literally how things was moving in our communities. This was like the culture. This was a real culture. Pimping, drug dealing, runaways, gangbangers. Rarely anybody come from a good upbringing of a mother and father, okay? Under the same roof. So for the most part, it was the land of the wild, and everybody was for themselves. This is how it was. And like I told you, even in the high schools, the singers would go after the freshmen and the girls would like to go after the college guys, and the girls didn't want to get seen. The pretty girls and all them, they want to be seen on the city bus. They want to mess with older guys who would pull up and drop them off in school or pick them up from school. And even the parents would be agreeing with these things because they was looking for a come up to other ones that they daughters was dealing with that had paper that would be looking out for them too. This was the culture in those days and times in the area where we come from. Now, I'm not trying to make things seem right. I'm just telling you the truth of how it was. In the age I am, 47 years old, most of y'all who got parents my age and come from my era, y'all mothers and fathers probably have a 6, 5, 7 year or to 10-year gap between the two of them. That's just a fact of how it was. Again, it wasn't like this everywhere around the world, but it was like this during those times, the 80s and 90s, you know. I mean, the further you go back, the younger it got. It wasn't the social media age like it is now, where a lot of this stuff is now bringing a lot of awareness, controlled, and things like that. Well, it's really now looked as shamed upon. But at that time, that was the norm. That was common. It wasn't looked at as being nasty or shameful unless a person was being forced against their will or abused in some type of way physically. Okay? This was the norm for what it was. It wasn't like how y'all picture it. Innocent young girls in school. No, we talking about girls 15, 16, 17 years old, smoking weed, drinking, ain't in school, hanging out all night, running their home, cussing out their mamas, rebellious, out of control, lying about their ages, stripping in clubs, prostituting, selling dope. This is what the life we came from and how things were when I was coming up. This is how it was. Regardless to how a person want to take it, how a person want to accept it, that's how it was. Most of you 20-year-olds now, y'all see this stuff and you like, oh man, that's crazy, that's crazy. But that's how it was. Simple as that. Now, when I was coming up, my mother basically died when I was 12 years old. Okay? She died when I was 12 years old. She had a brain aneurysm that left her in a coma for 8 years. I was 12 years old. My big sister had to take care of me because my father wasn't in our life. And from then, when I got to the age of 14, I was a ninth grade dropout from high school, and I was on the streets. And in those streets, I was one of the ones that the drug dealer people like preyed on. Just like it was for the young girls, this how it was for the young men. When you the age I am, with no support, nowhere to go, you are a drug dealer's treasure. They'll pick you up, put you in a dope house, give you a video game, give you some restaurant food, maybe a starter cap, a shirt to make you feel good about yourself. You became their killers, they hitmen, and you became their drug dealers. They love young boys like me, okay? Just as well as they love the younger girls that were coming from poverty-stricken places who could pass for being older girls. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they would do. So we would sell all their dope and get a little bit of nothing, taking all the risks. And they would tell us things like, oh, y'all ain't got to worry because if you get arrested, you ain't never been arrested before. So your first time, you're going to get a slap on the wrist. Most of them didn't want to sell no dope because they was already convicted felons and on and on strikes where next felon offense, they going away for a long time. So we would sell they dope. That's how I ended up catching my first case at the age of 17. I was tried as an adult in Illinois, and I went to prison. I was like the youngest dude in prison, real prison, for guns and drugs. I got out at the age of 20, but this real life. But something about being in the prison, that the age you go in, it's like you stuck at that age and have that mentality when you come out. I know all this stuff now because I'm wiser, I'm older, and I go back on it. So you gotta understand, we wasn't groomed in my neighborhood and my upbringing. I was never groomed by a man. I was never groomed by a father, a husband. You know what I'm saying? So my mentality is the environment that I'm around. Okay. And we wasn't like normal, regular teenagers. We come from a fast life of drugs and gang banging. So that's all life was: sex, drugs, gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Now, the girls that would be in our neighborhoods was not from our neighborhoods. This is why they was able to hide their identity, and you wouldn't know what ages they were and things like that. The east side girls would come to the north side. The north side girls would go to the east side. The west side girls, that's how it was. But girls went outside of their neighborhood where they were known at to go to neighborhoods they wasn't known at. This is what I'm talking about, for instance, with a couple of my baby mama, quote unquote, who ended up not being my baby mamas. Okay? When you would go to these dope houses and trap houses that we would be having and things like that, they would be full of girls. That's what came with dope houses. Girls on girls on girls, girls, breaking girls, things like that. And all that consisted in those places was getting money, having sex. For the most part, nobody really questioned nothing, asked for IDs. If you looked the age and said whatever you said, a person didn't interrogate you on that. They accepted it and believed what it was. Simple as that. And most of the times you believed it to be true anyway, because they doing dope, they staying out all night. And keep in mind, at that time, cell phones wasn't popping a big. So people didn't have cell phone where they getting calls and things like that. It was house phones. And the popping thing back then was a cordless house phone that you could only go a certain distance. This is the upbringing that we were around, what we were dealing with, okay? It wasn't that you were seeking out, oh, is she 14? Is she 15? Is she 16, 17? No. These girls would literally be there lying about their ages, have fake IDs, and some of them didn't even have fake ID. They just looked the age, and that's just something you just never questioned or didn't question. See, I don't like when people try to make it seem like what I'm saying is not realistic or not really true, or people who wasn't there say stuff like, well, why you didn't ask this, or why y'all didn't do that, or why y'all didn't do that. You talking about ghetto born kids with no fathers and really mothers in our lives. Our mothers was either crackheads, alcoholics, prostitutes, and whores, leaving us to watch the kids and things while they rip and run the streets. Fathers either in prison or on drugs or ripping and running the street. You didn't have the sense of common sense. You didn't have really the sense of making right decisions and choices. If that was the case, you wouldn't have been in those environment and places that we were in. Okay? So everybody getting over on everybody, trying to come up off everybody. This is what was going on. It was a survival of the fittest for anybody and everybody. That's exactly how it was. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Crazy thing about it is, the women I was involved with, I wasn't even going with. We were just having sex. We was effing buddies or partners. You get what I'm saying? That's how it was with my baby mamas. That's how it was. Okay? And when things was happening, that's just how it was. That's how it was down here in Chicago and in Milwaukee. That's exactly how it was. In the ghettos of these places. We wasn't suburban kids that had a good upbringing, that had curfews for the most part, that had parents that really, really had our best interests and things like that. No, we're talking about a group of young adults and teenagers with no sense of direction, all mingling with one another. And that's why people our ages, see here's the thing, be careful what y'all say when you're not going to keep it all the way 100. I'm 47 years old. The people that's y'all ages may not get this, but the people that's around my age and stuff, they understand exactly what I'm saying. Sad thing about it, most of you guys that talking, y'all mamas them and fathers them is guilty of the same thing you trying to accuse me of. You trying to accuse me of. Y'all got people in y'all family that got the same age gap between them when it comes to mothers and fathers. Some of y'all mothers and fathers 5, 6, 7 years apart from each other. Facts. Well, your mother and them was probably teenagers, 15, 16, 17, and your daddy and them were probably 21, 22, 23. That's a fact. Especially when they come from these type of upbringings. So to try to make me out to be some type of predator or some type of pedophile because you went 25 years into my path to try to find records on my baby mamas who's 40 years old now. Right. What about right now? What about right now? Where is that at now? We're not talking about what was the state and condition of living back then in urban ghetto communities. See, it's a difference if it was right now today, but it's not. But it's not, because I'm smarter than that and I understand it now. My mind has been changed. My eyes is open. From crossing over from darkness to light, it's entirely different. I don't have to prey on underage women. I never even did then. I was more targeted because I was a young adult, but that was having money. So I was the one that a lot of them wanted to be up under. None of them girls who come from a bad background, poverty stricken, mama poor and broke, daddy not around, they wasn't dealing with guys their age. They knew a 15 or 16 or 17-year-old person couldn't help them in a condition and situation. So if they had the looks, if they had the body, if they was around the right people, they knew how to use that to their advantage to put them in position of guys like me to get close to lie about their ages and present themselves. That happened to me on more than one occasion. I'm not ashamed to talk about my past. I don't care. Already been forgiven of my past. I'm already saved from my past. And like I said, if you got to go 25, 20 years into my past to find some dirt, that just going to show you don't have nothing. They like 40 years old. Okay? 42, 41, 40. So what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to say? So if I'm a rapist because of that, okay, I'm a rapist. If that's so big, I'm just real with what I talk about and what I address. Again, I'm not condoning nothing. I'm not justifying nothing. Okay, I don't have nothing to hide. I could address these things, And the sad thing about it is, I would want even some of them females, but see, females and men are different, and I'm gonna compare them on that. Because some women, see, men could talk about it because we not looked at badass when it comes to women. We not looked at badass when it comes to women. We could talk about all the women we done had sex with and things like that. I could talk about having sex with sisters, aunties, nieces, mothers, and daughters. I could talk about that type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? But women, it's different. It's kind of shameful to them with a woman talking about, yeah, I had sex with brothers, I had sex with uncles, I had sex with fathers and sons. See, that's kind of shameful. You get what I'm saying? So them speaking on that type of stuff, they not so naturally want to come out and speak about that. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't want to come confessing that type of stuff because they women. You know what I'm saying? And women would take it to the grave. Me, I talk about this stuff because it's no big deal. Can't nothing happen to me. It was all in my past over 25, 30 years ago. So that stuff means nothing to me. So I could talk about this stuff, and I'm not ashamed to talk about these type of things. I could see if it was happening right now. Then that's a different conversation. But this is not this conversation. And I don't know how things is right now today because I ain't in the situation of what's going on today. What I mean by what's going on today. Again, remember what I told y'all. In our high school days, the seniors went after the freshmen. Hold on a second. Dogs are terrible. Hold on a second. My bad. Now, this is what I was saying. Things are different. Like in my days, coming up and things like that, things were different for us. I don't know how it is for y'all right now in this day and age. But in our day and age, this how things was. Things to us was this. We would, when we were going to school, the seniors, just tell me, is it like that right now today in certain places where y'all at? Again, every place is not the same place. Some cities and states, ghettos and things like that, it's differently. But I'm telling you how it was where we were coming up. Okay? The seniors would go after the freshman girls. Okay? A lot of the freshman girls or look, sophomore girls, they like the college guys. Okay? The girls didn't want to go with guys they age for the most part. This wasn't unanimous. I'm just saying for the most part. These girls wanted guys who knew how to drive them to school. And I know in this day and age, a lot of people driving at a young age, so times have changed. But in our days, that was a big, big thing. It's kind of common now when you got teenagers, 16, 17, 18, driving to school now. But that was, that was some crazy stuff back in our days. You get what I'm saying? How things was. So, but that's what it was though for that. So the seniors would go after the freshmen, and the high school girls would go after the college guys. Go to their parties and things like that. And they wanted to get driven to school and things like that. They didn't want a guy their age because they knew a guy their age couldn't do nothing for them when most of them come from not having, a good family structured background. Rather a mother and father in the house together, parenting, or a strong mother that was just doing it, or a strong mother, a father alone doing it. Most of these things happen from broken homes. Most of us who was all together like that, we was all coming from broken homes that didn't have that for the most part. I'm not saying it was like that for everybody, but for the most part, the gatherings where all this stuff was going on, among stuff what we were doing, we all came from broken homes and things like that. Okay. And that's how it was. And these girls, they wasn't young girls like y'all thinking. They were young in age, but experienced in the streets, sexually wise, hustling wise, selling dope wise, doing drugs wise, strip dancing wise. It was out there. This again, these during the time of big cocaine dealing, crack hitting, and pimping. Pimping were player club eras and all the pimps and things and stuff. It was wild, out in the open. Okay, and it wasn't like unbiased gonna say, you know how you know your baby mom 15? You call and they say she doing her homework. What? You sound crazy. No, you wouldn't have known my baby mama was 15 years old, even though she was 18 when she gave birth to my first child. So stop lying about that. You wouldn't have known that. This girl was driving. This girl was stripping in a club at the age of 15 years old. This girl was literally, you could stop it, man. You guys just be talking. I guarantee you, if you seen them, you'd have fell for it too. So stop with them games. Just trying to say it because it's me and try to paint this picture of some Catholic school girls and look skirts on carrying books with apples in their hand. No, we talking about getting it. Girls with long fingernails, makeup all on their body, long hair going down, strap, booty pants, half tops, chest hanging out. Get up out of here, man. Sounding crazy, man. No curfew, staying out all night, driving, big ballers. Come on, man. You can paint that little nice picture all you want. I'm talking about for the people who really know. And like I said, be careful with what y'all saying because you on the internet and it just sounding good. Because when y'all saying, oh, Battle Truth is a pedophile or he's a rapist because of these situations I'm talking about that took place 25, 30 years ago. When your mama and father guilty of it too. Your uncles and brothers guilty of it too. Y'all got partners in God that's doing that right now. Right now. Knowingly. So come on with these games now. But it is what it is. I don't care. I accept. First of all, ain't now one of you cowards gonna do nothing. So all that talking don't mean nothing. Ain't nothing y'all can do. What you gonna do? Blog me to death? You gonna internet talk me to death? What you gonna do? You're not gonna stop people from watching me. Watch the views of this or how this guy rocked it up. You ain't gonna out real talk me. You're not gonna say nothing that make me look bad because I'm not ashamed of nothing in my past. Nothing in my past. I could address whatever. I don't care. Is it happening now? Is it happening right now? No, it's not. You can be jealous of whatever you want. You can be mad at what you want. Okay? So that stuff don't mean nothing to me. But y'all guilty of the same thing. Say you don't know somebody in your family that's not 5, 6, 7 years to 10 years older than your mama or your auntie or your niece or your sister. Come on, say that ain't true. Say it ain't one of y'all yourself while you talking. Say it ain't one of your homies that you know while you talking. So that stuff don't bother me. I don't care. I ain't arrested for nothing. It ain't on my record. My record is clean. My record is clean. So what about that? So get out of here, man. See, so people can talk all they want. I'm not ashamed of nothing. Nothing. I could talk about this stuff. I have talked about this stuff. I got a whole book I'm writing about this stuff. So this stuff don't bother me. I don't care. Look how far you had to try to go to dig something up. I don't care. Let's dig up the skeletons in y'all closet. I'll imagine what you would find. What you would find in the skeletons of your closet. This the best y'all got? That go to show you you ain't got nothing. If this the best you got, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. My baby mama's 40 years old. 40 years old. 42, 40s. What? Come on, man. So I don't care about that. Like I said, that's not even my baby mama, but we could address the situation. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to put them out there like that just for y'all entertainment. But we can talk about. I talk about me. I don't care about me. That stuff don't bother me. I don't care about me. See how I can talk about that? I'm not ducking no smoke from nobody. In fact, I'm gonna give a lot of y'all smoke. This, have you noticed this stuff helping me? This stuff helping me. I'm the one steady getting paid off this. Y'all better look at my numbers. I'm helping y'all. So without me, what would y'all have? What would y'all be talking about without me? So I'm the energy. I'm the wave. You're not stopping nothing. I'm the energy. I'm the wave, like I will always be. None of you cowards gonna do nothing. All y'all doing is blowing up. Bunch of hot air. None of y'all ain't gonna bust a grape. None of y'all ain't gonna do nothing. So it's just nothing but talk. Ain't nothing y'all can ever say against me that gonna make me look bad. Ain't none of y'all gonna do nothing to me at all. I done accomplished more in my life than y'all done ever did. Y'all ain't never had as much as me, done as much as me, ain't even been to that point. So just the stuff you talking about just don't mean nothing. I don't got to sugarcoat nothing for none of y'all. It is what it is. And you not changing nothing. What are you changing? Nothing. What you gonna stop? Nothing. So you just talking just to talk, just because it's blogs to do. At the end of the day, you're not gonna stop watching me. All you clowns talking about, oh, cancel him. We gonna count. Nigga, stop watching. This is the internet. You don't own YouTube. You don't run. It's not your channel. It's not your platform. You don't own this, okay? And you damn sure ain't telling my 30,000 subscribers to stop watching me. Because they real enough to understand. Like I said, tell me somebody in your family that's not guilty of what you're trying to accuse me of being guilty of. Did I take anybody against their will? No. Did I ever force anybody against their will? No. Have I been lied to? Yes, many times, many of occasions. That was part of that life. A lot of things I didn't understand. I know now. I know now. So don't tell me what thing was 25, 20 years ago. What about now? What about now? You ain't got nothing. So I don't want to hear that stuff. You ain't stopping nothing. Is it on my record? No. Have I ever been charged with anything? No. And that was the norm for where I come from, where my upbringing was. I'm sorry. That's how it was. Am I saying it right? No, I'm not saying it's right. So understand that and stop having selective hearing. No, I'm not saying it's right. No, I'm not oh, my mouth got dry. No, I'm not condoning anything. Neither am I co-signing it. I'm just telling you how life was in the era that we were coming up and what was going on all sides. Simple as that. Simple as that. So whether or not you won't accept it, that's on you. That's on you. But I know who I am. I know where I stand. Simple as that. So all that stuff you talking about don't mean nothing, man. Crazy thing about it is, I was like the youngest dude they was messing with. That's what's crazy that y'all don't know. I was the youngest dude they was messing with. Not only that, they was the one that was actually the one that was coming at us. That's another thing you don't know. Well, you know, because I told one story one time. Come on now. They was the one coming at us. They were the ones that wanted us. Come on, man. What you talking about? Y'all just talking. But again, some of y'all don't even know that, because most of you dudes are geeks. And ain't nothing wrong with being a geek. I'm not saying that to your shame, but I'm just saying most of y'all geeks and don't know what goes on in the hood, especially at those times. Some of y'all just 20 years old. Times then changed a little bit. I'm like twice y'all age. You get what I'm saying? So and where we from is entirely different. Where we from is entirely different too. So where you from mean a lot. Where you from mean a lot. That's why when guys be talking, they just sound so stupid, because they don't have the experience enough to understand how it really was. I'm out. Oh, you should have known. How? You sound crazy. These girls ain't even from these areas. We don't even know where they from. Come on, man. And wasn't nobody like, oh, let me see your ID. Let me see your ID. Oh, you wasn't? No, that's now. Y'all doing that stuff now. People wasn't really doing that back then 25, 30 years ago. Sound crazy. But it is what it is. But it is what it is. Nobody wasn't checking for that. And for the most part, people didn't even care. People didn't even care. That's how it really went. If you look the age and look the part, and that's how it was. That's how things was for the most part. That's how it really was. People wasn't even going with each other. It was just a lot of effing and getting money going on. So that's what was going on. A lot of getting money and changing it. That's what was going on. That's what was going on in those trap houses and things like that. Come on, man. Them girls wasn't even my girlfriends. For real. And that's how come them babies wasn't ending up being my babies. They was other niggas' babies, because this is what was going on all the time. Not just in my trap house. They'll be going on in other niggas' trap houses that they were going to too. These girls would be traveling from different baller places and things like that. I'm telling you what's real. See, some of y'all ain't real enough to handle these conversations. But to the people who is real enough to handle these conversations, y'all know exactly what I'm saying. But I tell you this, even if people ain't real enough to answer handle these conversations and questions, one thing they can't get around, I bet they mom and father are guilty of the same type of thing. I bet they brothers and cousins and friends are guilty of the same thing. They trying to accuse me of calling me a rapist and a pedophile, because that's the way and the culture was when I was coming up, that I was a part of. I didn't know no better like that. I don't care how y'all say, well, you was grown. I didn't know no better. I was never grown. We didn't see. Here's another thing. We didn't have OGs. We was the OGs. 20 years old, 21. We were the OGs. See, Chicago may have had OGs. See, that's why it's a lot of killing now in Chicago. All the OGs them arrested and indicted or dead and killed off. Things are in cliques. It's cliques now. And the OGs now is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's how it was for us. We didn't have really OGs no more. When I was coming up in my teenage day, we had OGs. But from all them laws that was made and raids and indictment that was taking place, slowly but surely the OGs was being removed. And the OGs became us 20 years old, 17, 18, 19-year-old, 21, raising ourselves, have no idea of life, crazy in our damn head, just having a whole lot of money, a whole lot of sex, not knowing nothing for the most part. No education or nothing. That's real talk for you, because that's how it was. And the girls was no different. They were trying to get a meal ticket too and come up, and they would do anything they could to get that meal ticket. Lie, sell dope, slit your throat, screw your father, screw your brother, screw your clique, screw your team. They didn't care. They were trying to get it how they lived too. And that's what we all was doing. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's hard, but it's true. And that's what life was. So call me a rapist if you want to. Call me a pedophile if you wanted to. But that's how things was back then. Period. And that's what it was. Every person was for themselves. And that's how come things is a little bit different now, but it still goes on. Still got girls lying about their age. Still got girls with fake IDs. Still got girls attracted to older men. You still got, still happening, man. I'm not condoning nothing again. I'm just telling you how it was. And I'm not trying to paint some picture to make myself seem innocent of anything. Like I said, my baby mama's them 40 something years old now. So all that stuff they talking about don't mean nothing. If you got to go back 25, 20 years, okay, crucify me. Crucify me. Do it. Who cares? You still ain't changing nothing. Ain't none of y'all my friends anyway. None of y'all never been my friend. My platform ain't built off nothing that you niggas gave me, said to me, offered me anything, and you're not changing anything. I'm still running this game. I'm still dominating. None of you cowards gonna bust a grape. So all that talking for what? All that talking for what? None of you cowards. So huffing and puffing, all that gas don't mean nothing. Blog me to death like y'all been doing. Just keep dropping your blog, blogging me to death. Notice this, my number's still growing. My subscribers still growing. My pocket's still getting bigger. I still run this game. So what have you changed? Nothing. Nothing. Now, right about this time, guess what I'm finna do? I'm finna go get me some head. I'm out of here. And this your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment, that's some question. It's yours. Real talk.